Today I want to talk to you about Modest Altschuler's piece, Melodie on a Theme by Rachmaninoff. I first heard this piece in 2016 when I was at the University of Wisconsin. I went there for a cello workshop called Your Body is Your Strad. And there was a very wonderful cellist named Karen Harmon, an American cellist, who played this piece. That was a while ago, but it really stuck with me. It was so beautiful. So I made this recording in the fall of 2021, or that's when it was released, called Taking 5. It's Taking 5 because there are 5 pieces on the album. They're about 5 minutes in length. And of course, Taking 5 means putting your feet up and just chilling out. And I think this is really good music for doing just that. This is the most modern piece on the album. It's in my score, it says it's copyright 1947. And it was written by Modest Altschuler, and he actually was from what is now Belarus, but he ended up in New York City. He was a cellist and a conductor. And then after the end of the First World War, he actually moved to California, and he had a cousin out there who was in the movie business, and so he ended up, Altschuler ended up writing scores for Hollywood films. I feel like this piece has a Hollywood feel to it. At the very opening, it has this free kind of improvisational feeling to it, and that's actually written into the score to play it in that way. The piano is very sparse, but it's playing in the higher register, so it has a very sparkly kind of quality to it where it punctuates the melody that's just starting in the cello. The whole piece has a tentative or unsure where it's going feeling to it, and you really hear that in the opening. But finally the piano comes in with some moving, like a feeling of movement, and that would be those offbeat chords that it plays. So you hear, if this is the beat, you hear ba, 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 ba. So it's just like off the beat, and it gives that feeling of motion. Taking 5 album have a real singing quality to the cello part, and this is definitely no exception. I think, as I was saying, the whole piece has this vibe of uncertainty or tentativeness, and it's always starting and stopping, or it's going ahead and pulling back. This is actually emphasized in that right in the middle of the piece there's a moment where the cello stops playing and you just hear this short piano solo that sort of bridges the first part of the piece to the second. The piece also has an ABA form, so that's a really nice thing to look for when you're listening to it, to just hear that it has this theme at the beginning, and then there's something different in between, and then that theme comes back. But in between, that middle section is sort of summed up by this little cadenza in the cello. Cadenza just being some flashy playing. There are really fast notes that go down low into the cello, and then they just end with, again, by sort of petering out with these 3 long notes. When the A section comes back at the end, though, this time it has more of a triumphant or confident vibe. The chords in the piano are bigger and they're rolled, so you hear like a ra, ra kind of sound. And then at the very end, it has this great resolution. I think it's very Hollywood, sort of riding into the sunset, or reassuring the listener that everything is okay now. The cello ends really high, and it's nice and soft in the accompanying chords in the piano as well. Thanks for sticking with me through this chat about Modest Altschuler's Melody on a Theme by Rachmaninoff. I hope it might inspire you to take a second listen through this beautiful music, and I hope you enjoy. Thank you!